Hello friends, welcome to a new video class. In this video class, we are going to study the cultivation of single cell protein, especially the cultivation of spirulina and the cultivation of chlorella. We know that spirulina is a blue-green algae and is a microscopic organism. Like that, chlorella is also a microscopic organism, but it is a unicellular algae. Both the spirulina and the chlorella perform photosynthesis by using sunlight. So through the process of photosynthesis, they can able to trap solar energy into carbohydrate, proteins, lipid, etc. So such kind of nutritionally relevant materials, especially such kind of nutritionally relevant proteins, are called single cell protein. So humans and human dependent animal, fishes, utilize such kind of single cell protein for their growth and development. So in this world, humans are mainly depending such kind of single cell protein because we know that single cell protein has a lot of advantages because its production is very cheap. We can able to produce large number of single cell protein within a short duration of time. Our expense is very low. So due to such kind of merits, we are depending the production of single cell protein. Here we are going to study the production of single cell protein by using spirulina and chlorella. So let us try to understand what are all the key steps we have to follow. We must follow in order to get sufficient amount of single cell protein by cultivating spirulina. So first of all, we need a suitable place to cultivate the spirulina species. So for that purpose, we can select transparent glass tank. The main merit of transparent glass tank is that they can perceive light in from different direction. So by trapping all those lights by such kind of spirulina, we can get more amount of photosynthetic product, thereby you can get sufficient amount of single cell protein. And later we can also depend concrete tank. We can also depend natural bodies like pond. So the main point we should focus when we select a suitable place is that the place should be with sufficient amount of sunlight. That is the main aim when we select a suitable place. Without a proper sunlight, we cannot get a sufficient yield by using this spirulina because they need sunlight to produce energy. So our first target is to select a suitable place having sufficient amount of sunlight and suitable environment for the successful growth of spirulina. And second factor is we need to prepare or we need to make a culture medium to grow the spirulina. So for that purpose, we need to know the required element for the spirulina to grow. So such element include sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, potassium nitrate, KNO3, sodium chloride, potassium dihydrogen phosphate, sulfate of iron, sulfate of magnesium. So these elements are needed, or these compounds are needed for the successful growth of spirulina species. So when we prepare a culture medium, we need to add all those elements or all those compounds for the successful growth of spirulina species. Then the third step is that we need to select a suitable spirulina strain. So the selection should be suitable for the place. We know that each living organism can able to perform its full potential or can able to show its potential in a suitable environment only. So when we select a suitable strain, it should be suitable for the selected place. Okay, and we can select that strain in the form of a spirulina mother culture. Mother culture means a spirulina culture medium with required amount of spirulina. And we can also purchase dry sample of spirulina. If we purchase dry sample of spirulina, its density should be 30 gram per 100 liter. So if the culture medium is 10 liter, so we need to add 30 gram of spirulina dry sample for getting proper growth, for getting proper yield within a specified period of time. Normally, if we add this quantity, we can able to harvest the spirulina within 4 to 6 days or 4 to 7 days. So that is why we need to add this much quantity. And another factor is that when we culture the spirulina, it multiplies very fastly. So during the growth of spirulina in a culture medium, all the spirulina try to move toward the surface of water for trapping sunlight. So there will be the process, so there will be a competition process of this among the spirulina members. So those spirulina which is present below the water cannot able to get sufficient amount of light. So we need to give sufficient amount of light throughout the medium. So for that purpose, we can depend an agitator system to rotate the culture medium so that all the spirulina members get uniform amount of sunlight by rotating the medium. So for that purpose, we are using agitator system or agitator device to rotate the culture medium. And after that, during the process of cultivation, we need to monitor the current status of culture in a medium. So for that purpose, we can depend microscope to monitor the spirulina species. If you take a small amount of culture medium and we can observe that culture medium by using microscope. So by depending such kind of microscope, we can view or we can see the presence of spirulina in the given or in the limited amount of that culture medium. So we can able to get a clear-cut idea about the density of the spirulina species in a given sample of the culture medium. And another factor is that we need a pH meter or a litmus paper. The purpose of pH meter or litmus paper is that we know that spirulina species need an alkaline medium to show its full potential or to show its maximum growth. So in order to maintain the pH of the culture medium, we need to depend pH meter or litmus paper. So by using pH meter, we can measure the pH of the nutrient medium in required periods. So by using such kind of pH meter or litmus paper, we can able to maintain the alkaline nature of the culture medium, because we know that during the multiplication and growth of spirulina in a culture medium, they releases some amount of some quantity of excretory material into the culture medium that may changes the pH of the solution. If the pH of the solution changes, then the growth will also decrease. So in order to avoid the decrease of growth rate, we need to maintain a constant pH. For that purpose, we can depend a pH meter to measure its pH. And when we follow all these steps, the microorganism spirulina shows luxuriantly. So within 4 to 6 days, we can collect the spirulina for producing single cell protein. So for the collection of spirulina, we can depend a sieve, or we can also use a filtration cloth or cotton cloth. By using such kind of cotton cloth or filtration cloth, we can collect spirulina, because spirulina is a microscopic organism. We can detect its presence by green colored appearance in water bodies in the culture medium. So we need to collect all those spirulina by using this filtration paper. After the collection of spirulina, the spirulina should contain some amount of waste materials or unwanted material. In order to remove such kind of unwanted waste material present along with the spirulina, we depend any method. In simple term, we can say that we can wash that collected spirulina by using fresh water, and after the washing process, we can squeeze that collected spirulina which is present in the filtration cloth to eliminate the water content. After the elimination of water content, we can make it to dry. After the drying process, we can make it to fine powders, or we can make it to flakes of spirulina. So after the collection, we need to process the collected spirulina into final product, and that final product is based on the requirement of consumers. So if we need the flakes of spirulina, we can make into such kind of flakes. If we need to make into fine powders, we can make into fine powders by using some grinding device. So based on the requirement of consumers, we can process into spirulina powder, spirulina flakes, spirulina tablet in different form. That's all. So this is about the culture, collection and processing of spirulina. The same mechanism will also applicable to chlorella species. When we take spirulina, it is a blue-green algae. But chlorella is a unicellular algae. They are existing in round or oval shape. That belongs to green algae, Chlorophyceae, and they lack flagella, and they contain a cup-shaped chloroplast. And within that chloroplast, we can see chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B pigments. So by using such kind of pigment, they can also able to trap sunlight and convert it into carbohydrate, protein, etc. So this chlorella also acts as the source of single cell protein, and its cultivation also include selection of suitable place, selection of suitable culture medium, and selection of best strain of chlorella. And we can also dip an agitator system to rotate the sample or to rotate the culture medium in order to get uniform sunlight. And we can also dip a microscopic device to monitor, and we can also dip a pH meter to measure the pH of the given solution. And we can also use collection sieve for collecting the sample, for collecting the process, for collecting the cultivated product. And we can also make into different form of processed food single cell protein. So the steps for the cultivation of spirulina and the cultivation of chlorella also same, but the requirement, but the nutrient content may differ in case of spirulina and chlorella, because both are entirely different organism. It is a green algae, but it is a cyanobacteria or blue-green algae. So the basic requirement for its luxuriant growth differ in case of spirulina and chlorella, but the methodology will be same in both case of chlorella and spirulina. So this is about the cultivation of single cell protein. Commonly, these kind of single cell protein act as the best source of food because their production cost is very low. We can produce more amount of protein within a short duration of time, and we can able to eliminate the water pollution by using such kind of single cell protein production, because some microorganisms need wastewater as a nutrient medium. That is why through that method we can also eliminate the wastewater, or we can eliminate the water pollution by efficient utilization of such polluted water to grow such kind of single cell protein producing microorganisms. So this is about the cultivation of spirulina and chlorella. Okay.